Breaking news out of Los Angeles. A decision that's turning heads, a return no one expected, and a bold move that could backfire badly. The Chargers are shaking things up, and the entire NFL is watching. Is this a genius plan or a gamble we'll regret? We've got three major stories that are lighting up the fan base right now. A veteran who's making one final stand, a top name who might not even make it to week one, and a missing piece that fans are starting to worry about. But before we dive into these huge updates, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and don't forget to turn on the bell icon so you never miss breaking Chargers news. Let's get into it. Khalil Mack's comeback, one last mission. He could have walked away, closed his locker, faded into the shadows after over a decade of dominating quarterbacks, but Khalil Mack isn't built like that. At 34, most players are winding down, not Mack. He had a choice. Go chase a ring with a loaded team somewhere else, but instead, he stayed right here in Los Angeles. Why? Because he believes in this team, because he still has fire in his chest, and because he's never won a playoff game. Not once, not with the Raiders, not with the Bears, not with the Chargers. 11 years, 5 playoff runs, 5 quick exits, that's what fuels him now. The money? Sure, $18 million for 1 year is big. But Mack made it clear, it's not about the cash, it's about finishing what he started. And Jim Harbaugh? He's selling one thing, winning here. Mack bought in, and he's not just coming back, he's coming for payback. Khalil Mack, back for more than just numbers. That stat haunts him. No playoff wins in 11 seasons. It eats at him. It fuels him. This comeback? It's not about fame. It's not about stats. It's not even about another Pro Bowl. Last year, he had just 6 sacks, his lowest since his rookie season. But that's not what brought him back. He returned because that wound hasn't healed. Because walking away without one real playoff win, that's not how he wants to go out. And when Khalil Mack talks about Coach Jim Harbaugh, you hear something different. Not PR talk, not media training. It's belief, real belief, like he sees something brewing in Los Angeles that's worth fighting for. He knows he's not the same guy physically as 5 years ago, but that's not what matters anymore. Now he brings something deeper, calm under pressure, unshakable leadership. The kind of voice a locker room listens to. He's more than a pass rusher now. He's the pulse of the defense, the tone setter, the standard, and that matters, especially when you're trying to build something bigger than just a roster. Sure, some fans have doubts. He's older. His numbers dipped. He takes up a big chunk of the cap. But this move? It's not just about stats. It's about a message. A veteran chose to stay, to trust the process, to believe that this locker room is heading somewhere real. And rookies? They notice that. The whole team does. Bottom line, Khalil Mack is all in, not just chasing history, but trying to make it. And that leaves us with a serious question. Can Mack rewrite the ending, or is the clock running out? While that hangs in the air, there's a new storm brewing. One of the Chargers' biggest offseason additions might not even make it to week 1. Mike Williams, a shocking cut before a comeback? Imagine this. You bring back one of your most trusted weapons. A guy who's made highlight catches look routine. A receiver who's shared battle after battle with Justin Herbert. And before he even steps on the field again, he's rumored to be on the chopping block. Yes, we're talking about Mike Williams, the same wideout who used to leave defenders spinning. The guy Herbert trusted when everything else broke down. But now? Reports say Williams might not even make it to week 1, a return that could end before it even begins. So why the sudden doubt? Let's talk numbers. Since 2022, he hasn't hit 1,000 yards, just 5 touchdowns in the last 3 seasons. For a supposed WR1, that's not enough. Yes, his contract is manageable, structured to help the team. But even with that, his name's already being whispered on cut lists. So, does it really make sense to move on from him now? Well, it depends how you see the bigger picture. He's not the same Mike from 2019. Injuries have slowed him down, explosiveness isn't what it was, and that reliability, it's been hit or miss. But take a look at the Chargers' current receiver room. Ladd McConkey, explosive, but still a rookie. Darius Davis, Keandre Lambert-Smith, exciting, but raw. Quentin Johnston, still unproven. And Keenan Allen? Still unsigned, still uncertain. This isn't a room full of guarantees. It's a room full of maybes. And that's what makes this decision so tough. Because while Mike's best years may be behind him, his connection with Justin Herbert is priceless. in a collapsing pocket, on a broken play. 3rd and long, season on the line. Herbert knows where Mike will be. He knows how Mike moves. That trust isn't coached, it's earned. So ask yourself, can you afford to cut the one receiver your quarterback trusts most just when everything around him is changing? Or do you ride it out a little longer and see if that old magic has one more run left in it? Mixed signals and mounting pressure. What's really going on? This isn't about a flashy trade. It's not about hype from a draft pick. This is about confusion, and fans feel it, because if you bring Mike Williams back, why even float the idea of cutting him? If it's about competition, fine, but then why put a veteran like him on the hot seat before pads are even on? It's starting to look less like strategy and more like uncertainty. Maybe it's a power play, a message to the entire locker room. No spot is safe. Or maybe it's a sign of chaos, an offseason without a clear direction, a front office still trying to find its voice. And while fans wait for clarity, one thing is crystal clear. If Mike Williams is cut, Chargers Nation will explode. Why? Because even now, he's one of Justin Herbert's last reliable targets. And let's be honest, Herbert deserves better. He doesn't need experiments. He needs consistency. He needs receivers he trusts, especially when the game's on the line. But what if this is bigger than Mike? What if this is about something deeper, a mindset that's wearing thin? Because fans aren't just frustrated about players, they're frustrated about choices. Watching your team lose is painful. Watching them choose the wrong path, refuse to fix the obvious, cling to pride over progress, that's worse. And right now, the Chargers are walking that line. While other teams are stacking talent, adding firepower around their young QBs, the Chargers look like they're gambling with sparks and dry grass. Here's the cold truth. Justin Herbert cannot walk into another season full of maybes. This is a franchise quarterback, a rare talent, someone almost every team in the league would trade their future for. And what are we giving him? Quentin Johnston, still raw Lad McConkey, promising but untested Keandre Lambert-Smith, Darius Davis, loaded with potential, but that's all it is, Mike Williams, may be gone. And beyond that, Willie Snead? This isn't a receiving core, it's a guessing game. And the more the Chargers stall, the louder the frustration gets. Are the Chargers wasting Herbert's prime? Let's get something straight. Willie Snead hasn't made an impact since 2020. He hasn't played a real NFL snap since 2024. And now he's being treated like some secret weapon? Meanwhile, Keenan Allen, one of the most consistent receivers in football, is still a free agent, training, waiting. And the Chargers are just standing still. This isn't just slow management. This feels like willful denial. Rumors flew about DK Metcalf. Whispers came and went about George Pickens. And with cap space available, what did we do? Played it safe, made small moves. And now, the front office acts like their job is done. Like this unproven group is good enough. But Chargers fans? We see right through it. We live every down. We feel every missed opportunity. And we know this roster isn't ready, because talent alone doesn't win, support does. If Herbert hits the field again this season, with a bunch of rookies still learning on the fly by week 5, we already know how this ends. Stalled drives, stacked boxes, frustration, and that old familiar danger, injuries. And here's the part that hurts the most. It didn't have to be this way. There was cap space. There were free agents. What's missing? Vision, urgency, guts. Instead, it feels like the team is building a fortress and forgetting to build a moat. And that fortress? His name is Justin Herbert. The moat? A trustworthy receiving core. Fans are starting to whisper the uncomfortable truth. Is Harbaugh too focused on his scheme, not the weapons? Is Joe Hortiz building for 2026, ignoring 2025? Is this a quiet rebuild or a hidden tank? Because right now, it doesn't feel like a plan. It feels like a roll of the dice. And if this gamble fails, it won't just cost us games. It could cost us Herbert's trust. There's a difference between courage and carelessness. Right now, that line is razor thin. Khalil Mack chose to come back and fight. Mike Williams is hanging by a thread. And this front office, they're dancing on the edge of disaster. So here we are, on the verge of rebirth, or another round of heartbreak. And whether you believe in this blueprint or feel like history is about to repeat, one thing is certain, the clock is ticking.